This video will show you how to install hanging closets that utilize a rail system. Before beginning, be sure to double check your packaging to make sure all hardware is inside. Using your technical drawing as a reference, confirm that all of your shelving is present in the packaging as well. In addition to the included hardware, you will also need some additional tools like a screwdriver, level, power drill, and some 2.5-inch screws to fasten the side panels and rail to the wall. Hanging rails may also need to be cut, so you will need a tool such as a circular saw with a metal cutting blade, or an angle grinder or multi-tool equipped with a metal cutting wheel. If your closet has corner connecting shelves, you will need to cut these down to size using a circular saw. Each part will have a descriptive label attached. At the top left, you'll find general information such as the part type, the material dimensions, and the material color. Towards the bottom left, you'll find the important identifying information. Cross-referencing it with your included elevations diagram will help you determine exactly where each piece should be installed. You'll find the job name, the room number and room name if it is a part of a multi-part job, and the part number. As you can see, this particular component is part of the job named Closet Brian 147. It belongs in room number 1, and it is part number 21. Now let's find this part on our elevation schematic. Confirm that you're looking at the correct elevations by checking that the job and room numbers match the part you're referencing. Then, find the page containing the number that matches your part. You'll find a list of all parts used on a page in the bottom left corner. Here we found the page containing number 21. Determine which wall this page corresponds to by checking the wall number at the bottom right. This panel is to be used on wall number 3. To determine which wall is number 3, refer to the overhead map which is included in your elevations bundle. The first step is to determine where you will mount your rail that the closet will hang from. Refer to the drawing that accompanies your closet to find the top shelf default height. Measure and mark that height on your wall. Make another mark 2 5/8 inches below the first one. The bottom mark identifies where the bottom of the rail will be. Using a level as a guide, clearly mark the lines for your rail across the width of the closet. Next, you'll want to identify where the studs are in the wall and mark them. Our installer here is using magnetic stud finders. If the end of your rail falls where there is no stud, you can use one of the included anchors to make sure that the end is fastened to the wall securely. Please note that your hanging rails are not pre-cut. They will arrive in a length of 93 inches. Depending on the size of your closet, you will likely need to cut the rails to the appropriate length. The rails can be easily cut using a hacksaw or circular saw equipped with a carbide or steel metal cutting blade, or a grinder with a metal cutting wheel. Please observe all safety precautions when operating cutting tools, including hand and eye protection. Also note that while finished end panels have an indentation to accommodate rails, it is not a full cutout, and you should plan accordingly when measuring and cutting your hanging rails. Fasten the rail to the wall on each stud. Once you've got the rail secured to the wall, you can install the cosmetic plastic cover. It simply snaps into place. The next step is to attach the suspension brackets to your vertical panels. Here's an illustration showing where they go. Use the bundled screws to attach the suspension bracket to the vertical panel. Then the vertical panels simply hang on the suspension rail. Here's an illustration showing how the brackets hang from the rail. Continue attaching your suspension brackets and hanging your vertical panels. Consult your reference drawing to space them roughly where they will be. Next, you will insert the pins to support your top shelf. You'll use a pin in the front and rear holes on each panel along the top. For panels that are not against the wall, use the double dowel pins. For side panels, use the smaller push pins. Once you've got all of your shelf pins installed, simply drop your top shelves into place along the pins. Then tighten the cams from below with a screwdriver until they lock. Using your drawing as a reference, locate where your shelves will go, drop them into place on pins, and tighten the cams from below until they lock just as you did with the top shelf. Remember to use push pins in side panels and double dowels in center panels. Install at least one shelf between each of the vertical panels. Once you've got a shelf or two between each section, you can check for levelness. Use the adjustment screws located on each suspension bracket to adjust the shelf until it is level. Check the shelves in each section for levelness and adjust each suspension bracket accordingly as necessary. Once you're certain that the entire unit is level, you can secure it to the wall using 2.5-inch screws. Our installer here is using screws with metal collars. Install these screws close to the corner so that you hit the corner stud. Once you've got the side panels anchored in place, it's time to secure the center panels to the wall. Use the included plastic corner braces to anchor the center panels to the wall in inconspicuous places. Installation of the anchors is simple. Simply mark where you need to put it, and then drill it into place with a Phillips head bit. Then use the included screws to attach the plastic corner brace to the vertical panel and to the wall. If your unit will have drawers, do not use these plastic brackets behind them as there may be clearance issues. Use flat 90-degree assembly brackets instead. Once you've got your unit secured to the wall, you can continue assembling it until it is complete, using the same procedures we've outlined here. Remember to always refer to your drawing frequently so that you avoid any mistakes in placement of your shelves. Finally, snap the plastic caps on top of the suspension brackets.